All right, well, the day has come. It's time to do emissions for this vehicle. I'm due at the end of the month, so we are going to get it done. Now, there's a few things we're going to talk about in this video, and one of them is emissions, what my state requires, how often we have to do emissions, how much emissions suck for the automotive industry. And so we are still currently running the tune. We got our parameters set up. Things are looking pretty good. Unplugging the Flash Pro from the computer. I'm curious if there's going to be any issues, with the car being on a tune, first of all, and the emission place, if they're going to find anything. For the most part, the car has been running fantastic. There's no issues with anything. Sometimes, once in a blue moon, I would get a running ridge code, but once I would clear the battery, it would not come back. So I'm going to go in there, knock it out, and then we'll be back talking about more stuff. They got the steepest driveway here always. Supposedly short wait times, 1 minute wait time. Let's take a look. I'm just coming after work, so yeah, it doesn't look bad at all, boys. Doesn't look bad at all. Looks to be pretty empty. I'm glad I came here at the right time. Alright, let's just post up. I'll get back to you guys shortly. Alright, so the tuning is going good. As you can see, some of my short-term fuel trims are pretty much very close to zero. This is just casually driving, so I'm getting that air fuel mixture dialed in on partial throttle as well as open throttle. That's going well. And here we are, guys. We just passed the inspection right here, as you can see, and I'm good for 2 years. So every 2 years we have to do emissions in my state, which is Illinois. And these are some of the components that they monitor. And I'm just looking at this to get a baseline, because once I go turbo and after 2 years, if I don't blow this puppy up, I'm still gonna have to do emissions. But emissions is gonna be much harder with the turbo kit installed, because we have a few things here that are not gonna be working for us. For example, engine misfire, that won't be an issue. Fuel system with the turbo build, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Comprehensive I don't know, that's not going to be an issue, I'm assuming. The catalytic converter is going to be an issue, because we're not going to be running our secondary oxygen sensor in order to read that data, and we're going to be disabling that sensor in Honda, so that is going to cause this to read not ready when we turbo it. Evap system should still work as intended. Heated O2 sensor will still work. Oxygen sensor and heated O2 sensor is pretty much the same thing, so that should be ready and working. A couple things are not supported here, but the main thing here we're gonna have a problem with is this Egr Flow. As you guys know, we were in the junkyard, we showed you the EGR. We have to disable the EGR. There's the TSI turbo kit essentially made a bypass where you can still use the exhaust gases and still recirculate that to the Egr Flow. With this build, we don't have the proper tools to make that happen, so I'm not gonna run it. Again, when the time comes for the secondary emissions, I might rig something up. I don't know. Again, if we don't blow the motor, we'll have to think about it later. But I'm happy everything passed. I'm happy, my fuel trims are looking good. So at this point, guys, I'm gonna be trying to upload the ignition timing tables from the tuned portion of the Honda pre-made maps, which increases my timing by 2 degrees, which hopefully will make this car faster. My wide open throttle pulls, I'm averaging around 12.25 to 12.45 air fuel ratios, which is pretty conservative. And we got a good amount of fuel there, so I'm thinking even if we increase the timing by 2 degrees, we have plenty of fuel there where we won't have knock. Now I'm hoping it doesn't knock. If it does knock, we'll either have to decrease the timing in certain spots of the map, or we will have to richen up the air fuel ratio to prevent that knock. But we'll get into that in all due time. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Watch the journey as I continue to start building this turbo Civic R18 on a hella big budget, but we're gonna make it happen thanks to you guys. So make sure you subscribe. Peace.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.